Hi, it's me again. I'm doing yet another vlog thing. I thoroughly enjoyed doing the other two, so I thought I'd do this one. And I apologise for yet another different scenery. Couldn't do downstairs because it was noisy down there, and it's kind of a bit noisy up here. I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is right behind the camera and is breathing quite heavily. And then the previous one, the lighting in it just seemed too busy. So I'm trying the wall that was to the left on the last video to see if that makes any difference. So if you have any feedback, then if you could, just let me know and I'll see what's best. Today I'm going to be talking about, about e.l.f. brushes. I have two standard e.l.f. brushes and two studio brushes. e.l.f. stands for Eyes, Lips, Face, if you don't already know, and you can get it from eyeslipsface.com or .co.uk, or depending upon where you are. And so yeah, I've had these for a while. I've had them for about possibly 6 months, so I've kind of got to know them quite well. I'm just going to basically go through each one of them, the positives and the negatives, to help you give you an idea of what they're about. And just before I do that, I just want to say that I'm going to try and do most of my videos on a Thursday, because that's when I have my day off. So yeah, it might be becoming weekly, and that may be why I am wearing the same clothes over and over again. So yeah, just wanted to clear that before. So the two normal brushes are, I think, $1 or £1.50. I don't know what they are in euros, sorry, I should have checked that out. But the first one I'm going to talk about is the e.l.f., I'm just going to say what it says, the e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. And it looks like that. I don't know if that's too close, sorry. And this brush is pretty much just a standard eyeshadow brush. I use it a lot, although it has kind of been replaced by this guy here, the Eye Shading Sigma E55 brush. But that's not to say that the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush isn't good. The positives: it's cheap, definitely cheaper than my Sigma brush. It's soft, it's good quality. It does put the colour on nicely, and it's just pretty much a standard eyeshadow brush, so I can't really complain much. The negatives: slightly short in comparison. There's just slightly, my Sigma one's slightly bigger, which kind of makes it a bit difficult. And I don't know if this is an eyeshadow or concealer brush, I can't really remember. I mean, I use it as an eyeshadow brush, but it looks a bit more like a concealer. But that is a big comparison. And the second thing that's a little bit nitpicky is the fact that it breaks quite easily. So sometimes I'll be using it and it just kind of falls off, which is kind of annoying when you're trying to put colour on your lids. But it does that very well. I quite happily get another couple. Since I've had my Sigma brushes, I haven't been using it for eyeshadows. In fact, I've been using it to put on the MAC Vintage Selection paint pot. It does that pretty well. I know you can use your fingers for the paint pot, but I quite like the finish that using a brush gives. And because it's quite short, it's quite stubby, it doesn't make it go crazy. You can compact it quite a lot easier. So that's good. I think everyone should have one of these. They're brilliant. Okay, next up is the e.l.f. Professional Blending Eye Brush. And it looks like this. It pretty much looks like your typical standard blending brush. Again, soft. It's quite flimsy, it's not very compact, but then you don't really worry about that when it comes to blending. You just want to blend the colour. I haven't really been able to appreciate this as much as I probably would, because I haven't really had brilliant opportunity to put colour in my crease, because I stupidly didn't get a brush that would work well for that. This I struggled to put it on. I mean, you can, but it doesn't work so well. So I'm trying to blend the colours and trying to put the crease colour with this into your crease doesn't really work. The colour kind of gets washed out. So I wouldn't recommend it for that. But other than that, it does blend colours quite well. So it does its job. It's, again, $1, £1.50. So it's good. You're getting what you pay for. Now on to the Studio line, which is a little bit more expensive by about £2 something. These cost $3.50 or $3. Well, £3.50 or $3. I'll start off with the e.l.f. Studio Line Complexion Brush. It looks like this, and let me show you. So as you can see, it's not very dense. The positives. Again, it's so soft. It's so addictive to just kind of brush it back and forth on your hand, all over your face. It's a lot sturdier than these, but that's generally because just the build is so much better. Sturdier. It looks quite good too. In terms of its use, I would imagine, and I think this is what it says on the iZip's Face website, is that it would be used for something like powder. And in some ways it is used, it is good for powder, but I can't put all over powder with this. Me trying to use loose powder by MAC, I failed miserably. It just kind of went on patchy in spots. I think it's because it's a paddle brush. Or maybe I'm just really bad at using these brushes. I don't know. But what I have found is that it is good for blushes. It's quite easy to just kind of tap it almost onto your cheeks and then kind of buff it in a bit. That works quite nicely. Maybe because it's the shape. And I guess you could also contour because it's quite thin. But yeah. Next up is the e.l.f. Studio Line Powder Brush. And it looks like this, with a nice flat top. It's a bit of a... That's not an odd shape. I was about to say it looks... Well, it's kind of eggy shape, but... Yeah. Well, ovally shape, anyway. I would say this is more of a... This could be used to stipple. Stipple, like, foundation onto your... Well, that's the reason actually why I got this, because to be honest, I don't really wear powders all over my face. That kind of doesn't work with my skin. So I just wanted to try stippling my foundation, my liquid foundation on. And I have to say it didn't really work very well. I don't know if that's because it was me trying, but I felt like it sucked up all the liquid into the brush rather than putting it on my face. So I felt like I was wasting a lot of product, which I don't really want to have to do. It's not very financially viable. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. So anyway, I do love it. It's again soft. I wouldn't say I love it, sorry. I like it. It's fun to use if I knew how to use it. But then I guess for the price that you're paying for it, you can't really have any qualms. I don't know if qualms are a word, but it is now. And so yeah, I mean, I guess it would be good for putting on powder. I guess it just depends on what you're using it for. I probably wouldn't purchase these again if I had to. But saying that, they haven't really frayed much. Unlike this one that frays like Billy-O. this one doesn't. But so yeah, it just depends what you. I wouldn't. Yeah, I would recommend purchasing this one multiple times. Very, very handy. I do reach for my Sigma brush a lot more since I got them. But yeah, I still use this when I put my vintage selection on, so I don't let it feel lonely. And this one, I guess if you need a blending brush, make sure you also get something to put your crease colour in, because I made that mistake. So yeah, that is my vlog on the 4 elf brushes that I've got. I hope that's been of some use to you. And yeah, if you want me to do any particular review, whether it's vlog or blog, just send me a message and I will try and do it. Thanks.